say, can you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets right there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
New York, Phoenix, Schenectady, rise at the fire commence. Stop on the floor, whole place get tense. New York, Phoenix, rose from the ashes, went straight to the throne. Upstate cold, but it's where it belong. M&T Bank Arena, welcome home. New York, Phoenix. Net don't move when we shoot it, just whisper and swish. Courtside focus, I'm locked in my zone. I feel the same way when I get in the booth. Yellow, white, red when we playing at home. The Phoenix is back, now the city is focused. Ring culture here, we ain't chasing no clout. They know we the one, put the city on notice. Defense press up like a label event. They try what they could, but they ain't have a chance. M&T Bank, tryna raise up a banner. Discover Schenectady, Talgera Phantom. Ray Gillen is here with the Metroplex. Cause Bass be clear, we ready to flex. This ain't no guess, read the store when I'm writing. We going OT like Doc Quinn.
Good evening and welcome to 94 by 50 Basketball League action. Tonight's matchup, the hometown New York Phoenix taking on the Reading Rebels. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us on a Thursday night in the Electric City, coming to you live from the M&T Bank Center alongside Vinnie Fredericks. I am Sean Bagnardi. The Phoenix entering action second place in the league, 8-4. Reading at 4-8. Phoenix looking to make it 3 wins in a row, Vinny, as they officially start the second half of the season.
Yes, absolutely, Sean, and they're coming into the second half of the season with a hot streak going, coming off a win in their last matchup against the Jersey Shore Breaks, 92-83. It was A.J. Mosby off the bench in their last matchup, leading the way with 21 points. And looking at the league leaders across the board, field goal percentage, rebounds per game, three-point percentage. The Phoenix have guys within the top 5, top 3 in almost every statistic in the 94-by-50 league.
Just about set for the opening tip here. A little bit of a late start. Reading opting for the scenic route today from Pennsylvania. Maybe they were hanging out at the casino next door, I don't know, but they're here now and ready to go. And it is the Rebels controlling the tip. They're going with Shaquille Goodwin, John Egbuda, Miles Carter, Anthony Lee, and Evan Hinson to start it. And that one's out of bounds. Keep it right here with Reading. Meanwhile, for the Phoenix, under head coach Travis Weish, they're starting Eli Ford, Josh Williams, Kadir Welton, Denzel Wally, and Jaquay James. And right there, off the inbound, it is Reading getting the bucket with Egbuda.
2 straight looks at the basket there for Reading. Looks like early on, their point of attack is going to be drive in, see what they can get inside the painted area.
Here's Ford, missed it off the window. Welton almost had that follow jam. Lee, the leading scorer for this Reading team. No foul called. He went down on the three-point attempt, missed it. Lee is up there in the league in terms of scoring overall, over 20 points per game. Williams dumps it down to Welton. Double team comes. They force a steal.
Yeah, you mentioned Anthony Lee. He is second in 94-by-50 with 23.7 points per game.
And Egbuda looking for the foul there. Didn't get it. Missed the shot. James now the other way. Looking to go to work. Lee got in there defensively. Saw these two have some good matchups last season in the TBL. Reading, because this one's going to stay here with the Phoenix. Reading was in the TBL, just like the Phoenix were last year, as well as the Albany Patroons, who Jaquay James played for last season, and they matched up against this Reading team. He and Lee had some pretty good head-to-head matchups. Obviously, James does not have the size advantage there, but certainly the quickness, and those two are the leaders of their teams. Welton's got 6 to shoot. Backing down, picks up the dribble. Now he's going to need some help. 2 seconds to shoot. Wally lets it fly, almost banked it in. Offensive rebound. Welton, a little push off, uses the window, and the Phoenix are on the board.
When Kadir Welton gets going in the post, when he has that right jump hook working, he's a dangerous man to stop. If you're Reading, you got to try and nip that in the butt real quick.
Oh, drive right down the middle of the paint. And that is, let's see, who was that?
Miles Carter, I believe.
Miles Carter filling the bucket for the Rebels. James behind the back, then splits defenders, looking for the cut. Williams, big throw down. What a setup from James.
A beautiful read right there from James. I mean, splits the screen, dribbles in between. Nice little dump off. That is efficient offense right there from the Phoenix.
There's a 3 now for the Rebels. That rims out. Offensive rebound nearly controlled underneath. Last touch, though, by Hinson. And the Phoenix will have it. Phoenix coming off a win at Jersey Shore on Saturday, 92-83. This Rebels team also winners in their last game, an overtime win against the San Diego Sharks, 124-121.
Yeah, had 3 starters in scoring 20-plus in that game. Anthony Lee, McQuan Tucker, and Evan Hinson.
High dribble from Williams. Now he's fading and hitting.
Josh Williams can do it both ways. He'll throw down a dunk, and he'll also hit you with a nice post fade.
Pull up from the outside. Good answer there for the Rebels. Score it for Egbuda. Quickly the other way. Missed off the window for Wally. Back come the Rebels. 3 minutes lapsed in this first quarter. Pull up top of the free throw line is a little bit too strong, and it's Ford controlling the glass.
The Phoenix running a little bit of a slower tempo, I feel, on offense than we're used to seeing. Could be a difference in the game plan against Reading. Maybe saw something in the scout, did Coach Weish.
James, follow no good for Williams. Now numbers the other way for the Rebels. Going to get a good look for Lee, and he takes advantage.
The Phoenix are getting their looks inside, but just have not been able to finish once they get to the glass. I'm expecting those layups to start falling throughout this game, but yeah, struggling to get it to go down right now.
That pass for Welton deflected, still winds up in his hands, and Williams wide open underneath. 2-point lead for the Rebels as they get it into the front court.
Williams off to a hot start here, has 6 of the first 8 points for the Phoenix already.
Goodwin, league's leading rebounder, now has it in the paint. Spins, good help from Welton. He was there with Ford, then they give it right back. Lee finds the open man. Egbuda, no. Offensive rebound. There is Goodwin doing what he does underneath. Blocked by Welton. He stays with it. Welton again a factor defensively.
Kadir Welton, absolute menace down low, and it leads to the fast break.
James drills a three.
That is defense turning into offense right there. Gotta love it if you're Coach Weish.
Good tempo. Fast play, not a lot of whistles through these first 5 minutes. Rebels let another one fly from deep. Not sure that Hinson called glass, but he'll take the 3 points.
It may be almost 7:30 on a Thursday, but I guess the bank is still open.
James is out there with Welton. Instead he'll go to Ford. Touch pass. Welton, oh, what a move. Great footwork from Kadir Welton, creating some space and an easy layup opportunity for himself. Lee trying to get free, he does. Tries another three. Rebound to Williams.
Lee, very quick trigger here. Could have maybe held on to that one, get a little deeper in the shot clock. Must have liked the look.
James, does he have another in him? Not on this one, but Welton's got the rebound. Count it! And the foul.
That's why he's the second leading rebounder in the 94-by-50 league, Sean. An absolute unit. Down low is the 6'8" Kadir Welton.
So we get our first timeout on the floor. Phoenix, a 15-13 lead over the Rebels. Back with more first quarter action in a moment. Back at the M&T Bank Center in Schenectady, 94-by-50 basketball action. The Phoenix, a 15-13 lead against the Rebels. Vinny, this was that last play before the timeout. Kadir Welton has been doing work on the inside so far.
Yeah, just been too strong for Reading to really handle it, and it goes to show, I mean, he's the second leading rebounder in the 94-by-50 league, And despite being around the middle of the pack in the league for offensive rebounding numbers, the Phoenix are second overall in rebounding margin. So they may not get the most total rebounds compared to some other teams, but they will not let opposing teams out-rebound them.
Can't complete the three-point play, but they get an offensive rebound. And now an opportunity for Mosby. 7 seconds on the timer. Gets into the paint, then pivots. That's Arsenio Arrington into the game and into the basket.
Arsenio does love that mid-range jumper. Every time he sees it, he's letting it fly.
Oh, this guy will let it fly too. Lee short on that attempt. Williams all by himself on the right side of the floor. Oh, it acts as a pass to Welton. Just lost the ball, and it ends up being a beautiful setup.
I think we'll call that an assist.
Yeah, give it to him. Hometown scorebook.
Yep.
Carter directing traffic. Arrington nearly got in the passing lane there. Now he's trying to hang with Egbuda, and he will draw a foul.
Reading again, still very aggressive, driving to the hoop. Clearly been the game plan so far, and I believe this is the first time they are headed to the free throw line. Yeah, first free throws of the day here.
Phoenix 9 out of 16 from the field to open it up. Only 5 out of 16 for Reading. And now we're going to get a sub for the Phoenix. Kevin Cummings checking into the ball game. He'll replace Williams' spot on the floor.
He's been a spark plug for them, coming in off the bench in some of these other games. And honestly, they could use it from behind the arc. The reason that Reading is still in this game, they've taken 8 threes out of their 16 total shots compared to only 2 3-point attempts by the Phoenix so far.
Yep, 3 out of 8 on those attempts. Free throw missed. It was Welton who got a hand on it, and James eventually flags it down.
I think those kids down there were a little distracting on that free throw.
Yeah,
but that's that home court advantage.
The crowd's ready to go. They had to wait a little extra for this game, and they're into it.
They're antsy.
Mosby, he's into it as well. Another downtown hit for the Phoenix.
That is a tough shot to hit right there off the step back. Well contested. A.J. Mosby still feeling hot after his 21-point performance in the last game.
Lead now up to 8. Reading trying to cut into it. Not going to work on that attempt for Carter. Arrington makes a cut. Welton tries to get it to him and will. Mosby slipped free on that right corner. 2 in a row for A.J. Mosby.
If you're McQuan Tucker there, I don't know how you leave A.J. Mosby, let him get away from you. You just saw him hit a step back on the last possession. You think he's not going to miss that one from the corner?
Mentioned Phoenix coming in second place. Deflection here will keep it with Reading. Everybody in the 94-by-50 league chasing the Capital Seahawks right now. They have yet to be beaten 12-0 as we cross into the second half of what is ultimately a 24-game regular season schedule. Wally Hepburn checks into the ball game. Also going to get our first look at Malik Weinglass for the Phoenix. Good last name.
I like it.
Thursday, we'll get Weinglass in there.
I like your vibe, Sean.
Lee off again. Now we can heat up in a hurry. Has yet to really get it going thus far. Arrington just looking to do it all himself in transition. Lost the ball. He wanted a foul. Phoenix will keep possession.
Yeah, it looked like a 50-50 one right there, Sean. Could have gone either way, but certainly aggressive so far is Arsenio Arrington, looking to get to the painted area, get some finishes.
Weinglass, he knocks it down. No hesitation. Get a timeout here for Reading. Now 28-14. Just like that, the Phoenix have doubled up the Rebels, and they got to talk about it.
I would have called a timeout there too. Did not realize Malik Weinglass at that kind of range.
They left him all alone. He took advantage. Just under 4 minutes to go. Gives us a moment to look ahead to the Phoenix home game schedule. And, well, they're getting a good look at the Rebels. They're going to get a look at them again right back here Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock tip time. Next time Phoenix will be home is April the 30th against the Virginia Valley Vipers. Phoenix in their first year here at the M&T Bank Center in Schenectady, played their inaugural season at the Armory Studios NY last year. The Rebels made a trip last year to take on the Phoenix and only brought 5 players. And it got out of hand, as you might expect on the scoreboard. They were gassed. Obviously, they were a little bit late today, but have much more of a full complement of a team.
Yeah, these players are in great shape, but when you ask someone to play 48 straight minutes, it'll get to you.
3 for Tucker. Weinglass got a piece of it. 14 to work with on the shot clock. It'll be Lee triggering in.
So far in this one, the Reading Rebels, over half their shot attempts have been from behind the arc, kind of switching up their philosophy here from driving early on in this game.
Mosby was bodying up underneath, but McQuan Tucker able to take advantage over him. Set it up for Hepburn, another player in this team who can fill it up. Got a lot of depth on this Phoenix squad. Weinglass, oh, he's thirsty. 2 in a row.
He is feeling it tonight.
The answer? That one nearly an air ball, just grazing the rim for Farmir Ali. Now it's Cummings. Finds Arrington right in the middle. Double team comes.
I'd say find Weinglass again. Feed the hot hand.
Instead, Arrington will make a move to the cup, get himself a trip to the line.
Good strong drive there from Arrington. That's his game so far. A lot of driving, a lot of drawn fouls, and we kind of blinked, and all of a sudden you look up, and the Phoenix off to a 15-point lead here, just under 3 minutes to go.
Arrington averaging 8.7 points per game. He has played in every game thus far for New York. Up and down the roster sheet, you look at the numbers, Jaquay James leading everybody for New York, just under 18 points per game. Kadir Wellness under 17. A.J. Mosby at 15. Well, you've got Josh Williams at 12, Elijah Ford at 12, Wally Hepburn at 10, a bunch of guys at 8. It's a very balanced attack.
Yeah, you really never know who is going to be the leading scorer on any given night for this Phoenix team. That's what makes them so dangerous. They can beat you from the outside with Jaquay James. They can beat you on the inside with Kadir Welton. Very well-balanced team here.
2 free throws coming here for Lee. Just 3 points so far, been held to 1 out of 5 from the field.
All 3-pointers, too, that he shot so far. Again, very quick trigger, but he's the kind of player where you got to keep getting hands in his face. You don't want to let him get a couple to go, because that's when you're going to start seeing him heat up, and that's the last thing you want if you're the Phoenix.
Uncharacteristic and missing a free throw here as well.
It's because Paulie Walnuts was down there distracting him.
Yeah, he's a force himself, but it's the energy he gets out of the crowd as well.
Exactly.
Really good 1-2 punch. Lee will convert on the second. Phoenix have 33 points on the board. We still have 2:40 to go in the quarter. Cummings. Missed it just to the right. It hit the heel. Arrington the offensive rebound, and Arrington the putback.
Arrington feeling very pumped up today. He is not afraid of some contact down low. Already letting out a yell after that one.
Egbuda now guarded by Weinglass. That's Ali on the outside. Wally Hepburn sticks with him. 8 to shoot. Here's a drive down the middle. Put up. No good, but Egbuda's going to the free throw line.
Yeah, good foul. Make them earn it. I mean, the Rebels are not shooting a very high percentage in this game. Make them take tough shots. Continue to not let them get comfortable on offense. You have 6 fouls to give before you foul out. Might as well use them.
Josh Williams back at the scorer's table, getting set to return. We're also going to get our first look of the night for Tafari Beckford for the Phoenix. Meanwhile, for Reading, it'll be Shaquille Fritz into the ball game. Want to emphasize that is Shaquille. They have Shaquille Goodwin. This is Shaquille Fritz.
I like it. A little unique.
Yeah.
You don't see too many Shaquille O's out there.
No.
Maybe Shaquille O'Neal, but
Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't sound right.
no, it doesn't sound the same.
Hepburn looking to get to the tin. Banks it home.
What a finish there. High off the glass as it looked like one of the defenders was about to get a piece of it just off the fingertips.
There's a drive, put up. Wild attempt, misses badly. Phoenix looking to push. Hepburn's got his arms up, wants the ball, receives it from Cummings, tries another one off the window. Williams got the rebound, had it taken away, maybe taking a shot to the face as well. 5-on-4 now the other way. And the Rebels will take advantage of the power play as we're in the NHL postseason as well. And then we get a quick steal off the inbound and put back for Tucker. So 4 quick points for the Rebels.
This whole time, Williams is still down on the other end. Maybe got a poke in the eye or something, but a quick 4-point swing there for the Rebels. Obviously, in a 16-point game, you're not as concerned, but should this game get a little close, that's a moment to look back on.
They'll say it was out of bounds off the Rebels. Just over 1 minute to play in the first.
Looks like Jalen Scott getting ready to check in for the Rebels, 6-foot point guard, as well as Eli Ford for the Phoenix.
Yeah, so a lot of mixing and matching here early in this one for Coach Weish. What do you make of that strategy? Obviously, again, these two teams will play on Sunday, so you've got a couple of days off, but he's getting a little bit of everything right now from both the starters and the bench.
Yeah, and it gives you an opportunity to see what guys mesh well with others on the court. You know, we're only halfway through the season. It takes time to build that chemistry, and maybe Coach Weish experimenting here, trying to see in the second half of the season, maybe there's some guys that feed off of each other that he wants to exploit as they keep on going.
Long two for Beckford. Hot shooting continuing for the Phoenix.
Yeah, up to 62% now from the field, 71% from behind the arc on the day.
Code gives it up. That one taken away. Ford's out ahead of the pack. Hepburn goes behind the back, was looking for Beckford. Turnover, and now an easy lane the other way. Jammed down by Fritz.
Yeah, the turnovers down the end of the quarter here. I mean, we always talk about you want to finish quarter strong. The Phoenix still with a big lead, but certainly Len Redding gets some momentum here as there goes Wally Hepburn with the mid-range.
Chance for a final shot for the Rebels, and they're not going to get it off in time. The buzzer never sounded. That should have been a shot clock violation even before the layup attempt. And that is how this first quarter comes to a close. New York Phoenix, an offensive explosion, put up 41 points and lead it 41-25. Second quarter action from Schenectady right after this. About ready to start the second quarter here in Schenectady. Phoenix up big against the Rebels, 41-25. Kadir Wellen has 8 points. There are 4 players with 6 points. And talk about a balanced attack. It's hard to score 41 points in a quarter, or I guess it's a little bit uncommon to score that high and not have a player in double figures.
Yeah, exactly. But they're a very well-rounded team, and they've been finding good looks. They started off the game 2 for 6 from the field. Since then, 15 for 20.
Elijah Ford went up high for that rebound attempt and touched it last. Phoenix come in actually averaging fewer points per game than the Rebels, despite having 4 more wins. They enter play at 109.8 points per game. The Rebels are at just about 112. So that 3-point attempt misses. But the Phoenix well on their way to outpacing their typical scoring night. Ford, a little bit of a leaner. It's a late whistle. May have gotten pushed on that attempt, and it may have been one where if it goes down, maybe they don't blow the whistle,
Yeah.
but after it missed, Ford gets 2 free throws.
Yeah, and you'll take that if you're Eli Ford. I mean, definitely a little bit of contact there, but I agree. One of those plays where if it goes in, maybe you let it go. But I understand the whistle call there. And you got to wonder for the Reading Rebels, I mean, at what point do they go away from the three-pointer? They're shooting 25% so far. We'll see if they start to pick it up, but if you're the Phoenix, do not let them get comfortable from the three-point line.
Denzel Banks back in. Ford converts the second. He's another one averaging double figures for this Phoenix team on the season. Reading player went down after setting the screen, then gets up, and it's turnover. Beckford right to the rim. Missed it. Banks is there for the follow. That one comes off the front of the cup. James, good look at a 3. And finally, the Rebels control it.
Yeah, didn't necessarily think they needed to go with the putback there by Banks. Could have just gotten the rebound kicked out, but still ended up with a good look from behind the arc. Just didn't fall.
Fritz working on Beckford. Turns, fires, air ball. We'll get a foul here to work against the Phoenix as the ball was loose after the air ball. It was Seth Pinckney drawing the foul.
Bit of a physical game so far, despite not seeing too many whistles, I would say. Definitely a lot of contact on many of these drives, but the refs letting them play through most of them.
Ali with it here. James trying to fight over the screen. They give it on that pick and roll. A miss. Bank shot. Another miss. Elijah Ford gets fouled as they were starting to get out in transition.
Yeah, Pinckney a little bit handsy there with Elijah Ford. I mean, there's playing press defense and making the dribbler uncomfortable, but not a good foul right there for Pinckney.
Wade James at the controls for the Phoenix.
James coming into this one second in the league in three-point percentage, right around 48%. Wally Hepburn third in the 94-by-50 league in three-point percentage, 44%.
Ford was fouled, and it looks like they're going to call this one on the floor. So side out here. Shot clock to 14. Williams caught it with one hand. Now hands for Ford. Nice spin move on the baseline. He's fouled.
Back to the free throw line goes Ford. It's very impressive to me that he's second in the league in field goal percentage at 59.5%, but he's not necessarily a center out there only taking post shots and layups. He'll let the 3-ball fly. He'll take a mid-range here and there. Just an overall very efficient shooter. Picks his spots, very meticulously, and is able to get good looks when he wants them.
Ford was a teammate of James on the Patroons last year. He was featured in one of their player programs, and one of the questions that he answered was a fun fact about him. His answer, Vinny, quote, "I'm super funny."
Very confident too, I guess.
Yes, not very modest, but funny.
That's a good quality to have in a basketball player, though.
You
need a good locker room guy, keep things loose.
That one hangs up there for a couple of bounces before it's finally rebounded by the Rebels. They get another chance. It was blocked, and finally, the third time's the charm. Shaquille Goodwin, the layup.
These two teams going at it down low on the glass. These refs letting them play through it, though.
Still a big lead for the Phoenix, 44-27. A little over 2 minutes gone by in the second. Williams trying to slip free to the rim. Open man, Beckford drills a three.
Looks like Reading might have got caught in a zone there, or may have gone for a double team. Leaves Beckford wide open, and just not very solid defense there.
Code to the free throw line. Nice extra pass there on the interior. Works for Fritz.
Good offensive possession there, but here go the Phoenix running the tempo right back the other way.
Oh, nice setup. James on the lob. Beckford on the receiving end.
Beckford up to 7 points now in this one.
Fritz fouled. Pair of subs about to make their way in for each team here. For the Phoenix, Kadir Wellen will return to the ball game along with Wally Hepburn. Nope, that's actually going to be Isaiah Wilmore getting in there for the first time tonight.
And still the Phoenix, almost at 50 points here, still yet to have a double-digit score. 4 of them have 6 points. Tafari Beckford with 7. Kadir Welton leads the way with 8.
Meanwhile, it is Egbuda leading the way for the Rebels. 12 points. Anthony Lee so far. Uncharacteristically quiet start for him. 1 out of 5. As you mentioned, all of his shots so far, 3-point attempts. Just 4 points up on the board. One of the best scorers in the 94-by-50 league. James, he may have had a path to the rim. Instead, Wilmore missed a 3.
Definitely a good look there from James.
A little drive and kick, and out of bounds on the sideline. Trevon Code, not quite aware of his positioning. It's a turnover for the Rebels.
Yeah, the sneaker was just a half size too small there.
James, a lot of dribbling, leads to a turnover. Good break by Jalen Scott, laying it in.
Certainly a tough finish there with Kadir Welton barreling down on him. Jaquay James just got caught in the double team. Not really anywhere to go with the ball. Again, Reading is very aggressive with their traps on defense.
Nice job by Banks just to get back and break up what would have been another easy layup for the Rebels. They were trying to get that ahead to Code on the break. .7:59 mark of this second quarter. Phoenix and Rebels beginning the second half of the 94-by-50 season. Phoenix right now up by 18. Rebels will try to trigger it in. Banks got a piece of it. They'll do it again.
Yeah, despite 6 turnovers by the Phoenix, still very much in control of this game. Probably about the only thing that I would say Coach Weiss could go into halftime and say, guys, we got to clean this up. Everything else so far going pretty well in the Phoenix's direction.
Again, Phoenix put up 41 in that first quarter. Just 8 points thus far in the second. Still leading the quarter, though, 8-6. And again, out of bounds on that same sideline, almost in the same spot.
Seems like the Phoenix tonight are very just energized and hyped up. Even after that, Denzel Banks pounding his chest for forcing the turnover. You're seeing a lot of effort out of the Phoenix tonight.
Coach Weiss in his second year with this team, a lot of returning players from a year ago. Also got some really good players, as mentioned, coming over from the Albany Patroons. Did lose his leading scorer, Shadell Millinghouse, but he has navigated this roster well, and again has this team in second place. Turnover on that trip, and then nearly a miscommunication by Reading, lucky to keep it. Three ball, a little bit too strong for Scott. Phoenix have it. Banks to Welton. Had it knocked away. Good defense. It was actually Welton who ended up touching it last.
Yeah, good look there. Just solid defense. You have to tip your cap to a play like that.
And get it up quickly. Ball fake at the elbow. Dribbling in on Welton. Off the mark for Goodwin. James uses that screen out high. He's just so crafty with the ball. Behind the back feed, Banks too strong. Good effort, but it's going to be out of bounds. That was Isaiah Wilmore trying to keep it alive.
Again, you see the energy, you see the effort, the loose balls. You know, these are the winning plays that Coach Weiss loves to emphasize, and it's part of the reason why the Phoenix are in this current situation they are.
We get another timeout, under 7 minutes to go until the half. The Phoenix up 49-31.
Maybe this journey you're on has a purpose much greater than yourself.
About 5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us on this Thursday night. Certainly a busy night around the sports world. NFL draft tonight. Anthony Lee left wide open, short again.
Denzel Banks got a little distracted talking to a fan there.
Of course, we got NBA, NHL playoffs, baseball. It is a full slate, so again, appreciate you spending a little time with us. Jaquaid James, no. You know, Vinny, if I told you midway through the second quarter, Jaquaid James is going to have 3 points, you might think this game would be a lot closer, but they've been getting efforts from everywhere, haven't needed him to have the offensive output he's normally capable of.
Yeah, not even just the points, but only 2 assists so far, and usually he is the playmaker to set up the offense for everybody else. You hit it right on the head there. Just a very well-rounded game so far from the Phoenix.
Oh, good block for Welton. It goes off of Lee. Strong defense from someone who's already on double-double watch. Now 9 rebounds, 8 points. Kadir Welton has been trouble down low on both ends of the floor.
Sean, I'm not sure if there's a worse feeling in basketball than getting your shot blocked and then falling out of bounds and having the ball land on you. So you get it blocked and it's the other team's possession.
Williams with 10 to shoot. One-on-one on that right side. trying to go to his right. Now spins, uses the body. Well defended the whole way. Banks almost flipped that in one motion. And we do get a foul here on the follow-up attempt, much to the dismay of Anthony Lee. He ran out of there, couldn't believe the foul was called against his team. And now we've got a discussion right under the basket. And Jaquay James comes over and gets Wilmore out of there.
Good leadership from, one of the starters. Your point guard, you expect him to be a leader. Getting Wilmore out of trouble there. Smart move from Jaquay James.
Well to the free throw stripe. This is one area of his game that is not quite as glowing as the others. Has that sort of awkward motion. This is the first attempt.
Almost leans forward a little bit.
Yeah. Wilmore will head to the bench. A.J. Mosby coming back out there. Another guy who, again, normally can fill up the score sheet. 6 points, just 3 field goal attempts. Open look from the left side. Rims off for Hinson. Hinson will get another chance. Rolls off. But he does get the foul against Kadir Welton.
Again, making the Rebels work for it are the Phoenix. Nothing coming easy. And that's why you see their shooting percentages just continue to dip and dip, almost under 30% from the field. They're 3 of 16 from behind the arc. That's 18%. Can't even get the free throw to go.
Yeah, another misses the line. Now 4 out of 9 for the Rebels. Just the 3rd team foul on the Phoenix in this second quarter. Rebels are over the limit, so the Phoenix do have a chance to shoot some more here before halftime. They are 6 out of 9 from the stripe. Welton will give a screen from Mosby. Williams has it in the corner. Welton brought it back to the middle, had it taken away for a moment. A wild attempt, but the foul will mean 2 more free throws for Kadir Welton.
Again, Welton just so hard to guard one-on-one. You almost have no choice when he gets to his spots, but try to put some contact on him and hope you don't get called for the foul.
Talked about the balance attack. That's also been a lot of sharing of the basketball for the Phoenix. 12 assists compared to just 5 thus far for the Rebels. That's 12 assists on their 19 field goals.
Welton comes into the game today shooting 60% from the line on the season. Definitely a number he would like to get up as he misses a second there.
Short on that second attempt. Rebels trying to cut into this before halftime. Can they get Anthony Lee going is going to be a question. They don't need him on this possession, though. John Buddha, who has led the way for the Rebels, now up to 14. Welton after that screen. Elbow J for Arrington. No. Banks a piece. Out of bounds off of him.
Phoenix getting good looks on each offensive possession. I mean, the mid-range doesn't fall there for Arrington, but if you're Coach Weiss, you'll take that open mid-range look 9 possessions out of 10. I don't think you can really get much more open of a look there.
I feel like it's a part of the game that just in general sort of really, I don't want to say was phased out, but with the emphasis on the three-point shot and getting to the rim.
The analytics.
Or the free throw line, the analytics. But I do feel like even in the NBA, you're starting to see a little bit more of that being accepted again. An open, longer two-point shot is still a pretty good shot, especially for a lot of these guys who can shoot it at such a high level.
Yeah, you look at guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, leads the league almost in scoring these past few years, wins the MVP last year, maybe again this season. He likes the mid-range. He'll get to his spot, and he'll take a jumper when he can.
Banks looking to take off. Fouled on that attempt. Works against Lee.
There you see how that pace of play that the Phoenix like to play with gets you out in transition with an easy look at the basket, and the Rebels have no choice but to either give up an open layup or make them earn it at the line. But again, already in the bonus, you're starting to see the fouls start to pick up here for the Rebels. Already 3 of their players with 2 on the day. Not necessarily foul trouble just yet, but you need all hands on deck here. If you're the Rebels, you want to get back in this game.
A make here for Banks would give the Phoenix 30 bench points thus far. Or was Banks in the starting lineup tonight? He was a starter tonight, so still at 29. 29 bench points for the Phoenix compared to just 8 for the Rebels.
Again, back to how much of a well-rounded team the Phoenix are, that you really don't know who's going to be the leading scorer on any given night. Any one of these guys on the floor can beat you. An interesting decision there.
Steal on the inbound pass, a football Hail Mary, and it was the interception going to Mosby. Now we'll see if they get the touchdown on it.
I'll admit, I knew there was still 4 minutes left in this half, but when I saw that pass in the air, I was like, is there only 5 seconds and they're trying to force something up quick?
James just so many moves with the basketball, such good handles, so hard to contain. And there you see the result of that. If you can't guard him, sometimes you got to foul him.
Incredibly shifty is James, and it leads, we haven't really seen it tonight, but it leads to so many opportunities for them on offense, whether it be James getting a floater or a look at the basket, or it's a drive and kick out to somebody on the wing or in the corner. It just leads to so many more open looks and a much more efficient offense when Jaquay James is able to get to his spots down low.
You know, for James, I hate to say it, you know, he's listed at 5'7", which, I mean, is obviously not what you see for most basketball players. He's a guy I just feel like if he had 5-6 inches on him, could probably be playing at a higher level because of the skill set, the handles, the shooting ability. It's just so tough. You know, as you go up in the levels, that extra step you have is just lost by somebody having that extra height, the extra reach, extra wingspan.
Exactly, but this is still a very competitive league, as there goes A.J. Mosby from behind the arc. So Jaquay James still walking around the forest with the trees and is still able to get the job done here.
Well, we make that. That was Miles Carter, who almost came down on that pass attempt. Drive, scoop off the window, no. Follow is good for Shaquille Goodwin. Still a comfortable lead, 21 points right now for the Phoenix, as we are just about to hit the 3-minute mark of quarter number 2. Hinson returning to the game here for the Rebels.
Yeah, you're starting to see a little more intensity from the Rebels on the defensive side, but it hasn't exactly equated to less points for the Phoenix here, as they're almost at 60, 57-36 here with 3 minutes to go in the half.
Oh, Jaquay James, a chance for 4.
That'll get Jaquay James right back up to the top of the box score as far as points.
The defender came out and got in his landing space. Didn't matter, all net on the 3. And one more to come.
For reference, Jaquay James was probably the 8th leading scorer with 4 points before that shot. He's now the 3rd leading scorer with 7, potentially 8 here.
Yeah, only Mosby and Welton ahead of him, and he does get the roll to complete the 4-point play.
I mean, you have to wonder, what do you say as a coach in the locker room for Reading?
Carter the bucket. James tried to pull the chair out defensively. Didn't work. Yeah, what do you do? It's hard when, you know, if there's 1 or 2 things to maybe address, but how do you contain so many weapons? There's another one of them, A.J. Mosby, using the window for 2. And almost a steal. Wally Hepburn was right there.
A.J. Mosby could probably be a starting guard on almost every team in this league, but because this team is just so talented.
James too strong on that attempt. Flags down the rebound on his missed shot. Mosby had a ball fake. Now they zip it in toward Arrington. Good poke away by Hinson.
Yeah, really, how do you attack this Phoenix team when all 5 guys on the floor, doesn't matter what lineup Coach Weiss has out there, any one of the guys that are out there at any given moment can light you up for a little run. Seems like everybody can shoot from behind the arc. They can shoot the mid-range. They're able to drive. There's really not a weakness in a lot of these guys' skill levels.
Offensive foul there, negating what would have been an open look and a made three-pointer for Mosby. Well, I don't know what the answers are going to be defensively to slowing down this team, but one answer they're going to absolutely have to have in the second half to make any comeback on the offensive side is to get their leading scorer, Anthony Lee, going. Again, this is a team averaging 112 points per game. They have not hit 40 yet as we're winding down this first half. Weinglass there defensively and almost earned the possession back for the Phoenix, but it will stay with the Rebels. 13 seconds up on the shot clock. Get it in quickly for Goodwin. No, they won't. It's Weinglass again, and you can see his bench fired up for the effort that Weinglass is providing under the hoop.
It's plays like that that get you minutes in games.
Egbuda's been the one guy doing anything on this end of the floor. Has a chance to add 2 more points as he is fouled again.
Weinglass again fired up just at the fact that they have to now work for those 2 points at the free throw line.
Malik Weinglass, 6'8" center, listed at 230. Of course, cousins with Malik Beercan.
That was good. I thought there was going to be a real cousin there for a second.
Yeah, no. One more for Egbuda.
I think I see Malik's brother Scotch bottle in the crowd there.
Mosby, little isolation, pull up pop. Doesn't get the roll. Bounce it over to Egbuda. Goes right at Elijah Ford. Can't convert. Arrington the rebound and like a burst tried to get it up, but turned it over. That leads to Goodwin with a rattle jam. Almost popped out on him.
Yeah, he got a little lucky there. His team would not have let him live it down if that dunk rimmed out.
Even minute to play in quarter number 2. Elijah Ford giving it up. Beckford, defender leaves his feet. Running floater off the glass. Tafari Beckford.
Good look there from Beckford. Could have taken the 3 at first. Is patient, finds the nice floater there.
They run it up quickly. Miles Carter answers. And right back quickly the other way is Wally Hepburn. 3 defenders were there. Leads to a turnover. Carter again. Open man is Lee. He's missed a few from that spot. Missed another.
Lee hit his first 3 of the game, and since then he is only 0 for 8 since that first one that went in.
Hepburn doesn't drop in a 3. The Rebels could hold for 1. With this deficit, they're not really worried about it, but now they'll give the Phoenix the last shot of the half.
Looks like Eli Ford going to take his time here.
And let's see, did we get an 8-second call maybe? Nope, maybe a clock issue. Officials are coming together for a moment.
So yeah, the shot clocks are set to 0.
Yeah, shot clock definitely was turned off. It was well under 24 after that miss. Not an 8-second call. Maybe just an issue with the play clock. So 5.1 up there now, and they'll have to trigger in from side out of bounds. It's Arrington making a move, a ball fake. Missed it, Ford. Oh, somehow it goes down. Elijah Ford, does it count is the question. Score the basket, says the official. The Rebels can't believe it. You know, at the end of quarter number 1, there was an issue with the shot clock, the end of the game clock not going off on time, the buzzer. But right now, that basket's good. 67-44 is your score at the break. We will have second half action for you from the M&T Bank Center coming up in a few minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome back inside the beautiful M&T Bank Center in Schenectady, New York. 94-50 basketball action. The New York Phoenix, a 67-44 lead over the Reading Rebels. Alongside Vinny Fredericks, I'm Sean Bagnardi. Vinny, it is draft night in the NFL, and you, sir, are on the clock for your breakdown of that first half.
I thought you were going to ask me about the draft for a second. Because Jeremiah Love just went number 3 to the Cardinals, which is a shocker. My takeaways from the first half. Well, firstly, just absolutely incredible efficiency from the Phoenix on the offensive side of things. Their shooting percentage to start the game, they were 2 for 6 to start off. Since then, they're all the way up to 52%, 57% from deep. Compare that to the Reading Rebels, who are shooting a measly 15% from behind the arc, 34% from the field, a combination on both sides, and it's the reason why there's such a blowout on the scoreboard so far, 67-44. And the most impressive part of it for me is the defensive impact the Phoenix have made tonight, because the Phoenix are a phenomenal team. Defense isn't their strong suit, you could say. That they don't necessarily rank the highest compared to the rest of the teams in the league in defensive metrics, but they're holding the Rebels. The Phoenix actually give up the second highest three-point percentage in the 94-50 league. And as I mentioned tonight, holding Reading to 15% in the first half, I think that's a pretty good number.
We talked in the first half a lot about the balanced attack. Came from the starters and certainly from the bench. Phoenix bench outscoring the Rebels bench 36-8 in that first half. Points in the paint was close, not a big difference maker, but the Phoenix have controlled the glass 32-19, but a lot of that speaks to what you're talking about, the defense and just more missed shots up for grabs.
Absolutely, and even the rebounding battle. They've just been bigger down low, 32 rebounds compared to 19. They've got 9 offensive, and it leads to extra possessions. Really, the biggest thing that I've seen from the Phoenix tonight, the energy, the effort is there, and not that it really isn't on most nights, but tonight especially, a lot of guys are making the extra plays, diving for loose balls. We're seeing a lot of guys crashing the offensive glass, and it's almost sucked the life out of this Reading Rebels team.
Kadir Welton just 1 rebound shy of a double-double. He's got 10 points. The only Phoenix player other than him in double figures is A.J. Mosby with 11. John Egbuda, as we see Goodwin here for the Rebels get the scoring started. Egbuda has 16 points to lead all scorers, but Goodwin now up to 8 points after that basket is their second leading scorer. And Anthony Lee really nowhere to be found in that first half. One of the best scorers in this league. 1 out of 9 from the field, 1 out of 8 from downtown. He has just 4 points.
There's your double-double for Kadir Welton as well. There's rebound number 10.
James
11.
can't hit it. Welton just keeps doing what he does. Kadir Welton, give him another rebound, give him 2 more points.
I'll remind the folks again watching from home that he is second in the league in rebounding for a reason, Kadir Welton.
Might be first by the time we're done here tonight.
Yeah, good point.
Ford to James. Welton late to get in the play. They may not need him. Mosby can't hit a 3.
Welton now picking up at the three-point line on defense.
Miles Carter, good screen set out high for Fritz. Goodwin tries a deep one. Ford controls the glass.
He saw Malik Weinglass hit a couple deep ones earlier. Thought it would be his turn. Nope.
Welton thought he got shoved. Now he's got his arms up to the official. Meanwhile, Mosby wants to use him as a screen. Free throw line extended jumper is good for Mosby.
Mosby is dangerous. When he gets just a little bit of separation, you got to stay glued to him if you don't want him taking any jump shots.
Carter gets a whistle. Shot rims out. See if they give him free throws here or not. And they will.
I'm surprised. I thought that was going to be called on the ground. Looked like Jaquay James poked the arm in there right before he left his feet for that floater, but at this point in the game, I don't think the Phoenix are stressing too much about the fact that the Rebels get 2 free throws out of that.
The second meeting that these teams have played against each other, they had hooked up at Reading April the 3rd. It was a 135-111 win for the Phoenix. Mentioned their next matchup will be right back here on Sunday.
Very different look in that last matchup, too, because Jaquay James had 39 points. Josh Williams had 26. Eli Ford, 20. Kevin Cummings started that game. He had 18. A much more well-balanced attack here.
Like Kadir Wellen is a vacuum cleaner right now on the glass, and he's bearing the fruit of all that labor by getting some easy putbacks. Stripped away by Ford. Rebels stick with it, though, and 2 points on the board for Miles Carter.
Someone may have to check that there's not a couple magnets between the ball and Kadir Welton's hands because, like you said, vacuum cleaner. The ball is just being attracted to his hands on the glass.
Ford goes around 2 defenders, laying it in.
That's why he's second in the league in field goal percentage. Ford, a very patient offensive player. He's not going to put it up unless it's a good look.
Baseline jumper, miss for Carter. Goodwin had it stripped away. That was like a block steal kind of motion all-in-one for Williams. We do get a whistle here. Ford on the floor, and we'll get a timeout. Coach Weish having a discussion here with his team. We get a break in the action. 9:07 to play in the third. Phoenix up 75-50. .907 to play in the third quarter. Phoenix 25-point lead right now over the Rebels, trying to get to 9-4 on the season. Mentioned in the first half, everybody's trying to keep pace with the Capital Seahawks. 12-0 on the year, but the Phoenix in a good spot right now in second place and trying to start the second half of the season in a strong way as we ultimately push toward the postseason. Rebels are 4-8. They are coming off a win, but it has been a very up and down year thus far for them. Obviously more down than up with the record. Phoenix riding a 2-game winning streak. Ford bumping bodies, almost had it poked away. Now Williams has 6 seconds to work with. Hands it back to Ford. Pulls up at the free throw line, short.
Yeah, tough look there for Ford, but with the shot clock winding down, he's certainly a guy that you want the ball in his hands.
3 for Lee. And finally, Anthony Lee gets one to go down.
First one he's gotten to go since his first shot attempt of the game.
James pushes it up the floor for the Phoenix. Looked like he might have tried to get it to Williams initially there. And we do get a foul on that action. It was Goodwin guarding Williams, saddled with it.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit on a play like that where it's so clear that Shaquille Goodwin is reaching his arm in, and then he still wants to say afterward, well, I didn't do nothing.
Goodwin didn't even get a hand up that time. Williams missed the jumper, though. Agbuda, pull-up pop. It's the back of the iron. Lee, the offensive rebound. Guarded tightly by Mosby. Gets it right back. Drives into the paint. Lefty shot, no. And it'll be James flagging down the long rebound.
Good rebound from James there. I know you're up by 20, but you can't give the Rebels extra possessions. That is how you allow teams to come back in games like this.
Little jab step is all James needs to burst down through the paint. Now he's wide open for three in the corner, and it was halfway down. Kadir Wellen again on the offensive glass, and again drawing a foul afterward.
It seems like every time Kadir Welton gets the ball, it's not a matter of if he's getting fouled, it's when will the foul be called. I guess you could say if the refs are going to blow the whistle, but it seems like every time Kadir Welton has the ball in his hands, there is a foul whether it's called or not.
14 and 14 right now for Kadir Welton. He has the ball once again. Once again, he is fouled. Kadir Welton too much to handle no matter who is on him. That time it was Shaquille Fritz who had the assignment, and it's Fritz who picks up the foul.
Remember Shaquille O. Fritz.
Oh, no, my apologies. Shaquille O. Fritz, excuse me. Talked about how this was one part of the game where Welton, I'm sure, would be the first to admit he'd like to see some improvement. That leaning shot. You know, it's interesting. On a shot like that that is so uncharacteristic for a guy who doesn't shoot a high percentage, you would think that the prevailing wisdom would be just take that part out of it and see if it helps. But I'm certainly no coach, and I imagine it's something that he has worked on.
Yeah, eventually you just get used to shooting in that style. It might even feel weird to not lean forward on the free throw as there. John Agbuda again with the three.
Game high 19 points now for Agbuda.
It's really been the only bright spot on this Rebels team so far.
Williams had picked up the dribble. James guarded by Lee. Oh, the blur. But Agbuda comes over for the help defense block. Transition the other way. We get a foul. And it was, they're going to call it a take foul, a transition take foul, I believe, is the call. So should be a free throw coming here with nobody on the line. Interesting call there. You don't normally see it that late on the break and transition.
Yeah, I mean, Reading was already on their side of the court pretty much at the three-point line by the time the whistle blew. They may have even been further down low, and you know what they say, Sean.
BDL.
Yep.
Rasheed Wallace. Ball don't lie. They're actually going to get two shots here.
So what was it, a double technical?
So it's interesting. In the NBA, a transition take foul is one shot and you get the ball. If it's called a clear path foul, is when you would get the two shots in the ball. But I have seen that a couple times now in the 94-by-50 league where it's not a clear path. It is that transition take foul.
Yeah.
And they wind up giving two free throws on that. So maybe just a little nuance in the rule there. I'll have to ask some of the officials about that if I get down there after the game. Good look there. Short floating pop for Miles Carter.
Coach Weiss changing things up a little bit here. Arsenio Arrington back in the game. Denzel Banks.
Yeah, you look up, third quarter score 14-9 now in favor of the Rebels, and just like that, it's a 15-point game with plenty of runway left. There's work still to be done here for the Phoenix. Mosby missed it, but he was fouled. Whistle came in maybe just a hair late. Two shots, though, coming for the New York shooting guard.
It's a good point there. Yeah, it is only 15 here halfway through the third quarter. And again, the little things, the allowing offensive rebounds, the not crashing the glass, the things that the Phoenix were doing all in the first half, you're not seeing as much here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and it is 17-9 now in the third. Those last 2 points came up a little bit late. So, being outscored by 8 points, not insignificant. Mosby cuts into that just a little bit here.
If there was ever a quarter for the Phoenix to finish strong, this would be the one. If you can go into the fourth quarter up by at least 20, you can go in with enough confidence to say that, all right, there's a good chance you can walk out of here victorious. But as you said, there is still a lot of work to be done.
Shooting numbers have come down a bit as well here for the Phoenix now, 28 of 59. That's under 48%. Remember, they had a really hot start early in that first quarter, up over 60%, and it's just slowly come down really ever since then. But certainly that stands out now. The one area where they've maintained the hot shooting, though, is from behind the arc, 8 out of 16 and even 50%.
And you're seeing even for the Rebels, the shooting numbers start to climb a little bit. They're into the 20% now for three-point percentage, up to 36 from the field.
Mosby connects on a pair. Carter likes that spot. Can't connect.
Maybe the hesitation there might have thrown him off.
Bullet feed for James. Arrington's open. He fires from deep. Off the mark. Rebound for Buddha, who James got in there defensively. Didn't get the steal, but he caused it. Missed the three, though. And look up quick. Here come the Rebels, and they turn it over. So a little kind of sloppy sequence there on both sides.
Yeah, both teams might want to think about slowing the pace down a little bit here. Get into your sets and then try to get a good look. We haven't seen Kadir Welton receive the ball in the post as much here in the third quarter.
Mosby, no hesitation, short on a three. Buddha, another rebound. Zip it into Goodwin, tried to get it down low, went through the hands of the man down there, but that's okay because it winds up in Tucker's hands and he takes care of the business.
Sometimes the play isn't how you drew it up, but it's all about the outcome that matters.
Two defenders shading over with James. Arrington sets it up for Mosby. He's going right. Arrington left alone. Makes the long two.
That's his spot. Arsenio Arrington loves that 10, 15-foot mid-range.
Well, that is a bomb from deep.
Very interesting pull there from McQuan Tucker.
Yeah, still pretty early in the shot clock.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, trying to spark a momentum shift and get the bench hyped up, but not a great shot selection there.
Boy, James creates so much space on that step back. Banks takes the behind-the-back feed from Arrington. Off the mark on a three. Then it was James getting in there to knock the ball out of bounds. That will allow for a sub. James exits here. Wally Hepburn checks in.
James showing everybody his quickness isn't just an asset on offense. Even on the defensive side, he can get into the passing lanes, get his hands in there real quick, knocks that ball loose. Almost a turnover for the Rebels, but they do remain with the ball.
8 points, 3 assists for James. Those got 5 rebounds. Banks gets the steal, the lob, and the throwdown. Kadir Welton on a special delivery.
Where's the periodic table? Because I saw some chemistry on the court there. Great communication between Banks and Welton on the alley-oop slam.
Carter gets fouled. Nicely done by Arrington to still finish the play there and block the shot that would have potentially been a three-point opportunity. Lead back up to 19 for the Phoenix. It's 82-63, under 4 minutes to go in this third quarter.
A big mini run there by the Phoenix. Get yourself back out close to a 20-point lead. Not that I think there were many nerves creeping in for the Phoenix, but it certainly calms any, if there are some. Seeing that lead grow back up to where it was around halftime.
Beckford replaces Welton. Kadir Welton, 17 points, 14 rebounds. He is 7 out of 11 from the field.
I like the decision there from Coach Weiss to get him some rest now. You want him fully rested for the fourth quarter. Unless this becomes a blowout in the second half of the fourth quarter, I would expect to see Kadir Welton out there almost the whole time.
Not impossible for him to think about a 20-20 effort here tonight, depending on how things go. After the steal, Carter brings it into the front court. Leaves it for Egbuda, who just dribbled it off his leg. Banks. Oh, good job defensively getting back. It looked like that was going to be an easy layup all the way. Tucker didn't give up on it, though.
Got to give credit to McQuan Tucker there. I mean, those are plays that coaches dream about. What would have been an easy 2 ends up another chance here for Reading to get a stop. But if you're the Phoenix, see what you can do.
Arrington spinning, fading, threw up an air ball. Banks, though, an offensive rebound. Let's see. Maybe needed the shot clock to reset to 14 there, if it grazed the rim or not. Now, let's see. They're actually going to put the shot clock maybe down. Maybe it did reset, and that was the problem. So official goes to the scorer's table. We'll get it sorted out here. Meanwhile, you see the other official having a conversation about it with Coach Weish.
I have a lot of respect for shot clock operators because I've had to operate some in my day, and sometimes it is very difficult to tell if the ball hits the rim or not, and it's such a quick decision. You know, very good job by the referees as well, just to, you know, be able to notice and make sure very quickly that they're going over and saying, all right, hey, let's make sure that this shot clock is set right.
Yep, they were all over it, and you know, they just had it at 5 for a second. Then it went to 12, and now it's at 10. So it was at 10, really.
I was going to say, remind me, wasn't it at 10 before? So this is now the second time we've seen whistles that didn't really have much of an impact.
Well, they settled on 10, and here we go. James now with 5. Leaves his feet to make the pass to Hepburn, who floats it up and in.
Too easy there from Wally. I mean, the shorter defenders in front of him, practically like no defenders in his way.
James playing defense facing the wrong way. That's an interesting look. And
Almost
it is Carter getting to the rim.
James almost looked like Ricky Rubio guarding James Harden back in the day, where they would guard him from behind.
That's right. Beckford uses the screen from Arrington. It was a nice throwdown after the whistle.
Banks and Arrington. Phoenix on Phoenix violence down there. Then a nice little celebration after.
Yeah, Arrington and Banks having some fun. Foul did come on that shot for Beckford, so he'll be the one with the chance to get points on this trip.
I get it. If I could jump out of the gym and I could go for putback dunks, I would try to go for one all the time too, whether I thought a teammate was going in or not.
Yeah, but the good thing about you is you have never missed a dunk. So
that is true. I've tried and I have grazed net, but I have not actually. I guess it's technically not 100% because I haven't made one, but
oh yes,
you know, 0 for 0. I don't know, it's not technically 0%. It's undefined. You ever dunk in your day, Sean?
I have thrown down, but it's never looked good. It was one hand, you know, running, probably travel.
Doesn't matter how it looks. I do love going to the parks where the rims bend down a little bit.
Sure. To
the point where it's like 9.5 feet. Then I could maybe throw one down.
Oof. Beckford left his feet, and he had no choice but to land on Hinson. Correction, that's Pickney down there. No, it was Hinson, and it is Hinson going to the free throw line. So 2:31 to play, 86-67 right now is the Phoenix lead. That is the 5th team foul against the Phoenix. Rebels also have 5, so both teams over the limit here for the final 2.5. And they're going to need one more player down there for the Rebels.
A little miscommunication there.
We'll see how the Phoenix finished this quarter. You talked about it earlier. Good opportunity here, especially going to see this team again on Sunday. A chance for Coach Weish maybe have a little more flexibility in terms of the minutes and the rotation. But they want to close strong, and that'll help. Denzel Banks with the midi.
A confident pull up there from Banks. Certainly could have looked for the pass, but just said, you know what? I feel like this guy can't guard me. I'm going to go ahead and take my mid-range.
Now the foul, they're over the limit, so they're not going to have side out here, and it'll be Miles Carter to the stripe. Carter's up to 16 points quietly having a decent night. 6 out of 12 from the field. He's made all 4 of his free throws so far. 3 assists as well for Carter.
The big story again, Anthony Lee. I mean, he had that 1-3 early in the third quarter here. Haven't seen much of him since. Doesn't look like they have him on the court right now either. Yeah, so their leading scorer. Very uncharacteristic night.
2 out of 11. Here's a lob for Arrington. The throwdown.
Looked like Arrington had moon shoes on right there.
He can fly. He had some incredible finishes last season over at Armory Studios NY. We nearly had one on this end. Rebels still have it. 3, no. Hepburn quickly ahead. Banks lobbing again. This time Beckford on the receiving end. And it's not quite as fancy as Arrington's finish, but 2 points all the same.
Yep, 2 points or 2 points nonetheless. That pushes the lead up to 21.
3 rims out for Carter. Right back the other way comes Jaquay James. Beckford, and the foul.
What ball movement there. You could call it ball movement, if you will. Jaquay James had the option to look at Wally Hepburn in the corner. Instead, a simple dish to the cutting man in Beckford, and one finish. The Phoenix finishing this quarter off very well so far.
That's assist number 6 now for James.
Jaquay James, 5 rebounds as well. Tied for 3rd most on the team despite being the shortest guy out there. It's all about heart over height.
Certainly the Phoenix have had the heart tonight, really from the start. Really strong first quarter, and with very little exception, they have not let up this evening. Did see Tucker get the bucket on that end. Now Banks the other way, gets blocked from behind. Pickney went up and got him.
Banks right back on defense, though, not giving up on the play after the blocked shot.
Trying to get it to Pickney, and they do. Beckford just a little late coming over for that steal attempt, and then Pickney was all alone.
That is the risk when you run that style of defense, trying to force turnovers. If the pass gets by you, not very much help from your teammates.
On an array of dribbles, then a step back. Did not quite execute the 2-for-1 there. There's about a second differential, maybe closer to 2 seconds.
It's like either way, Redding's going to hold for the last shot here.
Right now it's Ali with it. And Ali pull up from the elbow. Drills it, 3 seconds to go. James gonna have to put it up. Instead he passed. Beckford. It was really close to being late. Doesn't matter. End of 3 from Schenectady. It's the Phoenix all over the Rebels right now, 95-77. We've got the final 12 minutes for you coming up after this. 18-point Phoenix lead over the Rebels to open up play in quarter number 4. It'll be the Rebels taking it out of bounds to begin play here. Vinny, what do you need to see from this Phoenix team just to lock things down?
Yeah, overall, I would say protect the basketball. You know, a lot of the Rebels' momentum and a lot of their easy points came off turnovers, leading to fast breaks. And overall, the clock is your friend here if you're the Phoenix. There's no need to rush any possessions or force any shots. Take your time, draw your setups, and the exact opposite of what I was saying. As Jaquay James said, you know what, Vinny, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're up there, I'm down here.
Exactly.
5 on the floor right now for the Phoenix to open up play here in the 4th. Denzel Banks, Jaquay James, Wally Hepburn. Also got Kevin Cummings back in and Malik Wineglass.
Yeah, we haven't seen Wineglass much in the second half here. He's already making an impact with the defense there, and then a block.
Oh, they get him with a foul, but you're right, it was nearly 2 in a row for Wineglass. Meanwhile, for the Rebels, Seth Pinckney, Evan Hinson, Famir Ali, Jalen Scott, and the man at the free throw line is Miquan Tucker. So to your point, at the end of that third, I haven't seen Lee in a bit, and I wonder if I'm just going to shut him down here for the 4th quarter and keep him rested for Sunday.
Yeah, but it's only a 16-point game. I'd be very shocked to see the Rebels not play him at all in a game where, yeah, you may be down, but there's still a lot of time left here.
And a chance to cut into it here. Nice unselfish play. Easy finish for Tucker. And just like that, it's 14 with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'd also like to see the Phoenix hustling back on defense. Obviously right there, that was a pretty tough fast break to get back on, but a lot of the effort plays that we talked about in the first half, you're not seeing as many of them from the Phoenix so far in the second half. You saw it a little bit more in the third quarter, but first couple minutes here in the 4th, not the most effort I've seen out of the Phoenix all night.
Looking at the bench, Lee has had the warm-up on for a decent amount of time. Not that means anything necessarily. He's the only one on the team wearing the warm-up at the moment, but
that's the intriguing part, that he's the only one.
Yeah. Wineglass converts on the interior.
Could be, I don't know, some tightness in a muscle or something. Could just be Redding trying to be cautious. He's already having a rough night, no need to force it. I'm assuming there's got to be something bothering him if he doesn't look happy on the bench either.
He does not. Put back for Code. Looking at the minutes here as well for Anthony Lee. Well, not on this stat sheet, I'm not, but might be able to track that down here.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the last time we've seen Anthony Lee on the court, but I do not recall since that first 3 he made early in the third quarter. Haven't seen him do really anything.
Yeah, he was definitely out there in the second half, to your point. But wow, how about that from Wineglass? A little baby hook.
A little nod to Kareem the Dream right there.
99-83. Code decoding the defense, leading to that three-pointer for Hinson. And it's a 13-point game.
Again, if you're New York, don't let Reading get comfortable here. Continue to make them take tough shots, make them earn it at the line if they want to drive to the hoop.
Kadir Welton back on the floor. Wally Hepburn, nice cut and a good find from Wineglass.
Very quick finish there, too. Tough transition to catch and immediately put that ball up, but Wally Hepburn, a nice finish.
Ali. Deep three-pointer goes down. Tucker from deep, and it's a 12-point lead for the Phoenix.
Yeah, very different from the first half, which you only saw around 40 or so points by the Reading Rebels.
Hinson gets called for that foul there as Wineglass and he got tangled. Yeah, a couple of subs coming in here for Reading, and Lee is not among them.
Yeah, I have to think that something is bothering Lee, whether it's, I don't know, an injury or something doesn't feel right. There's no reason that he wouldn't be in the game right now in a 4-possession game.
Battle underneath. Goodwin and Weinglass really going at each other. Ford will try a deep one, and nobody home underneath for the Phoenix. That's a foul. 2 shots coming for Code, and he can get this down to a 10-point game. Hasn't been that close in quite some time.
I think I need to see the Phoenix pick up their energy here. Look at the bench. They're not, they're not really into it. Compared to the mood that you're seeing, from the guys on the court for Reading after that foul call. They're starting to clap. They're starting to get their energy back. If you're the Phoenix, cut that out right now.
Well, Weinglass has not been an issue as far as the energy, but to your point, maybe Coach Weiss looking for a little bit of a spark here, making another sub. He's getting Beckford back out there. He is a guy who can be that kind of spark off the bench for this team. We mentioned they've got a bunch of them and guys who can fill it up.
Yeah.
Trying to get the right combination out there.
Beckford certainly earned that spot tonight, too. 16 points. He's 6 for 6 from the field, second on the team in scoring so far.
First shot was missed by Code, and the second one, no good either. Sorry, yes, that is Code who missed both of those.
It's not too often you see Coach Weiss run the 2 point guard lineup with Jaquay James and A.J. Mosby out there, but when they're both out there, 2 very lethal scoring options.
Not that time for James. Another opportunity to creep into this a little bit more for the Rebels. Welton again. I mean, just when it looks like somebody's got a little bit of an avenue to the rim, that long arm of Kadir Welton comes over and says no.
It didn't even look like Kadir Welton had to jump for that block. Almost looked like a dad playing pickup with his son in the driveway.
Like Buddha's had the hot hand. He dished it there. That was a grenade. And that did hit the rim. Should not have been a shot clock violation. And I think we may have just an inadvertent whistle here. I think one ref did not see it hit the rim and blew the whistle, and the other one stepped in and said no, that did. So shot clock at 14, it'll be side out of bounds.
Great defense there from the Phoenix, though. That is the kind of defense you need throughout this last 8 minutes here. Don't necessarily make it harder on yourself. If you play good defense, you don't let Reading get good looks. It takes so much pressure off your offense if you're the Phoenix to keep that pace and keep on putting points on the board to come away with a victory.
Shaquille Fritz checking back in. That's Goodwin setting that big body screen out high. 7 seconds to shoot. Bullet feed underneath. Well, just a little bit late that time defensively. It's another bucket for Fritz, and it's 101-91, under 8 minutes to go.
I'm intrigued here to see if Coach Weiss says, oh, A.J. Mosby just slips right out of his hands. I'm intrigued to see if Coach Weiss decides to maybe not send as many double teams or maybe a less aggressive form of defense and just try to man up, because you're seeing a lot of passes get by here as great defense from Elijah Ford.
Yeah, Ford swallowed it up, and that is going to earn the jump ball. I mean, you look at this fourth quarter right now, 14-6, just 6 points for a team that had 95 through 3 quarters. They've mustered up just 6 points in nearly the first 5 minutes here of game action in the fourth.
And I don't think they need to overcomplicate things. Kadir Welton has been unstoppable as soon as he gets the ball down low.
Well, they're not going to allow that. The person who took the jump ball, Ali, ended up picking it up.
There was a split second there, though, where there wasn't a whistle, and I was sitting here thinking, well, Ali is saying to his teammates, I can't touch the ball. One of you has to come get it, and then he grabs the ball.
He picked it up.
So I think it's a pretty easy whistle there if you're a referee.
Two officials having a conversation right at the X there on the Phoenix logo.
I'd like to see the Phoenix drive in a little bit more here in this fourth quarter, too, or get Kadir Welton going in the post. They had a lot of success early on, getting looked at the hoop, getting floaters up, or at the very least, getting a foul call, getting yourself to the free throw line.
Reading's going to retain possession here after that jump ball. 9 seconds to work with. Hinton frees up for 3, drops it down. The lead is 7 for the Phoenix, and it's starting to get real antsy here inside M&T Bank Center.
The Phoenix with 5 timeouts left as well. Surprised Coach Weiss hasn't opted to call one here. Try and just get some sort of stop of the momentum.
Mosby had a long 2 open, instead stepped back, tried to get a 3 out of it. Another opportunity, oh boy. That one too strong. Ali could have made it a 1-possession game with a make there.
Feels like right now there's just a lid on the hoop for the Phoenix, and I again emphasize, get inside to the basket, try to get a layup or a foul call here.
And correction, a lead is 7. That would not have cut it to 1 possession. Well, in the miss, opportunity here for Reading.
Technically, we did see a 4-point play earlier. You could call it 1 possession.
That's true.
Very rare, but it is possible.
Well, there's your timeout, except it's going to be called by the Rebels. 6:24 to go. And with that, we'll step aside for a moment. Phoenix trying to hang on here at home. Back with the finish in a moment. Well, things are getting a little bit uncomfortable here for the New York Phoenix. An 18-point lead entering play to start this 4th quarter. They've been outscored 17-6 and now lead it by just 7 points. And Reading could cut into it here on this possession. Hinson gets to a spot he likes and gets the roll on that jumper.
Seems like so far in this 4th quarter, the Rebels are just taking high-quality looks. They're driving to the basket.
Whistle will stop play here. And I believe that was a clock issue. They shouldn't really allow a sub on a stoppage for a clock issue. But either way, Banks is in there now.
I don't think it makes that big of a difference, considering, again, the Phoenix have 5 timeouts. If they really wanted Banks in, they could have called one.
Banks had it taken away. Rebels on the run. Egbuda, oh my, from the corner. He was out of bounds.
I don't even know what to say about that one, Sean. What is Egbuda thinking with that shot attempt? If there's 2 seconds on the shot clock, I get it.
impossible angle. It is.
Yeah,
Surprised he got it not even on the rim.
I mean, maybe he was he wanted to pass and just saw nobody close enough to look to, so he had to shoot it, but a waste of a possession there for the Rebels.
James to his left. Finds Banks with 5. Goes into traffic. 2 to shoot. Banks. Oh, a bailout foul. My goodness. And the Rebels bench cannot believe it. Banks had absolutely nothing going there with the shot clock about to expire. He's not going to get shots. He's lucky he got any call. He shouldn't be pushing for shots. So we'll get the side out.
Amir Ali over there on the bench for the Rebels calling for a challenge.
Yeah, he was the baseball.
He was doing the ABS.
Tapping his head.
Yeah.
He wants the ABS.
I don't think we're getting one of those tonight.
No.
You're starting to hear the crowd get into it too. A little bit of a "Let's Go Phoenix" chant there that last possession, led by the great Paulie Walnuts.
Banks a 3. They need it. They don't have it. Still searching for answers in this fourth quarter. Meanwhile, now the Rebels can cut it to a 1-possession game. They're down by 5.
I don't love the three-point attempt. I mean, yes, it's open, but they don't need to look for threes every possession down here for the Phoenix.
Wow, what a hesitation move. Carter faked out well and lays it in. It's 101-98.
It doesn't get much easier than that. I mean, a wide-open layup. Like I keep preaching, get to the basket, good things happen.
Coach Weish keeping his timeouts for the moment. A.J. Mosby. Contested 3. Denzel Banks the offensive rebound. James tries from the other side. He can't make it.
At this point, you might want to call a timeout just to give your guys a rest, get some water in them, say, guys, I know the shots aren't falling. We're taking good looks. Keep taking the open ones.
Hinson for the tie. No. James has it. Coming up on 4 minutes to play. Just not much going on here in the half court. Not a ton of man movement. James trying to direct traffic. Still have now 10 seconds. Mosby, Welton and Ford were out there. Now it's Banks taking it into the paint, putting it up and in.
Great finish there from Banks. Just slips his way right into the hole, and there's nobody that could get a hand on that ball.
Banks nearly got a piece of that inbound. They got to get across here. They do. Goodwin's got it. Carter guarded by James. Now Ford comes out with him as well. Goodwin. They leave him. A 3. That's an air ball.
Great defensive communication there from Eli Ford. He helps Jaquay James on the screen, has to turn around, sends Denzel Banks to get the man in the corner. Left nobody open on what was a solid pick there for Reading. And again, defense not necessarily the strong suit of this Phoenix team, but very impressed by the defense so far tonight that they've shown. Would like to see them get some good looks at the basket here and try to get some insurance points.
Remember, the Phoenix had 41 points at the end of the first quarter. Now just over 100, coming up on 3 minutes to go. Banks, open, look at a 3. He knocks it down!
Oh, and he hits them with a little wave celebration after. That had to feel good, almost like, again, just a huge chip off your shoulders seeing the 3 finally go down.
Lead back up to 8.
Phoenix in zone here. Looks like 3-2, maybe a 2-1-2 with Ford manning the middle.
Egbuka couldn't drop it in. Mosby ahead. Banks all alone. Missed the layup. Kadir Welton will not. Another offensive rebound, another stick back, and the lead's back to double figures.
That is a huge, and I mean huge effort play from Kadir Welton. Almost, well, he did miss time to jump there, but able to stay with it, gets the easy layup to go.
The answer underneath, though, for the Rebels. Kadir Welton, 19 points, 16 rebounds. Clearly has been the player of the game. Coming up on 2 minutes to go.
This is where I'd really like to see the Phoenix slow things down, and they're doing that right now. Wait till 10 on the shot clock.
Banks couldn't hit that one. Carter will not quite get it across yet. 2 defenders there. Finally finds Goodwin. Now Egbuka, a corner 3. They had to have it there, and they got it.
Tough make there from Egbude. That's a shot right there where you're just feeling it. Certainly had some open teammates, but when you're hot, you don't want to pass that rock.
Well, Welton's been hot tonight. He'll pass it here, though, for James, who hits a three.
There's nothing better than a selfless teammate. Kadir Welton, always a threat to score when he gets it down low, but the dish off to an open Jaquay James on the wing. That's a big-time shot with 1:30 left in this game.
Major clutch bucket for the Phoenix point guard. And we'll get a timeout here for the Rebels. Now trailing by 8 with just 1:22 to go in the fourth.
A lot of this run here for the Phoenix, starting from their defense. Able to get some good, easy looks on the other end. And finally, you knew that. I know I kept saying, take the ball inside, stop shooting so many threes. They were getting good looks, so I'm not upset with some of the takes that they were attempting, but after a while, you had to think one was bound to fall. And as soon as Banks hit that one, Jaquay James said, "Thank you, sir. I think I'll take one as well."
It has not been Jaquay James' night from the field, just 3 out of 15. All 3 of those makes, though, have been three-pointers. He's got 11 points, but it's the other things that he's done. 5 assists, and you mentioned the rebounds earlier, now up to 6 on the game for a guy who is not going to out-height anybody on the court, but he can certainly outwork him. We saw him flag down a bunch of long rebounds, and 6 total on the night for him.
I think all of Jaquay James' rebounds have come outside the three-point line.
Yeah.
Those long rebounds that nobody wants to track down. It's the little things, Sean, that really make good players great.
Tucker will trigger it in. Pretty much got to have him now if you're the Rebels. A decent setup for Goodwin, but how about Kadir Welton? The block, and it goes out of bounds off of Goodwin.
Almost disrespectful there from Kadir Welton. I mean, you cannot have a more clutch defensive play right there to get the block, and it's still Phoenix basketball. An absolute difference maker Kadir Welton has been tonight.
He has just been a force on both ends of the floor. Now they just got to get it in. They do for James. Using some clock here.
Very smart decision. I would not put this shot up until there's 5 seconds on the shot clock.
They get it to Welton. Double team comes. That leaves James for a moment. Goes between defenders. Can't connect, but a long rebound out to Banks. They don't have to hurry here. They did get a reset. And I think that's maybe what Coach Weish was thinking. He does use a timeout here. Still 11 seconds to potentially work off of this shot clock with just 48 seconds up on the game clock.
And a smart decision there from Denzel Banks not to take the corner three. I understand. You get that offensive rebound and you're thinking, oh, a three right here could be the dagger, turn this place into an absolute zoo, send the fans into a frenzy. But smart play, take some extra time off the clock, and a good time out there from Coach Weish as he dribbled into some trouble. 11 seconds left on the shot clock here. They could get it down to about 37, 36 seconds after a shot. In an 8-point game, the writing is starting to be written on the wall, but still a couple steps left for the Phoenix to take here if they want to walk away with a win.
This is the only game in league play tonight. Tomorrow, 2 games on the schedule, including the undefeated Capital Seahawks. Then Saturday, just 1 game, Virginia Valley and San Diego. And then Sunday, we mentioned, we'll be right back here for a rematch. The Reading Rebels will be back in town to take on the Phoenix. One of the big question marks coming into that one, of course, for the Rebels will be the health and availability of their star player, Anthony Lee. Certainly not his night tonight, but someone they rely on a night-in, night-out basis. And you'd have to venture to guess that it is something related to health in some form as to why he has missed so much of the second half. We, of course, don't have that information, don't want to speculate, but you would think that if he was ready to go and healthy, he would have played a lot more in the second half.
Yeah, you have to wonder too, maybe that's part of the reason for the slow start he had and his, atrocious shooting numbers tonight. Maybe it was something that was lingering coming into the game. It's also a factor of the fact that the Rebels showed up a little bit late. They took the scenic route, as you alluded to earlier, so they didn't have that full time to warm up. That can be a big difference maker, especially when games end up tight like this one.
It's a great point. James walking the tightrope. Boy, we had a great view of it from our angle, and he just kept that foot in the front court. They're using the clock. Banks puts it up at the buzzer, and using the clock is the victory there. And how about the steal? Banks now just a 7-second difference on the shot clock. They're going to look to dribble it right out as deep into this clock as they can. They are calling for a foul here, the coach for Reading, and we will get the foul. But with 20.8 to go, you got to feel like that pretty much seals it now with that steal for Denzel Banks.
The story of the night tonight, Sean, has been this Phoenix team's defensive effort, which is not what you would usually say. Usually they light up the scoreboard. They did in the first quarter with 41 points. The scoring hasn't been as efficient since then, but the defense has stepped up when they needed it. That's a huge steal right there from Denzel Banks.
First foul in the last 2 minutes. They had one to give there anyway, and now they are backing off. New York will have to put up a shot here, and that'll be Mosby doing so. Rebound to the Rebels. Final 5 seconds up on the clock. They'll just let Agbura take that one and make it. Just got to get it in here, and that will do it on the night. It's going to be a 111-105 victory. That dunk at the buzzer won't count for Welton. Doesn't matter. He was the player of this game for the Phoenix, putting up 19 points, 16 rebounds. We saw the slew of blocks. He impacted play really all throughout the game on both sides of the floor.
Absolutely. Just unstoppable in that first half. As soon as he gets the ball in the post, you really have no choice but to either foul or you're giving up 2 points, and just an absolute monster on the glass. You called him a vacuum cleaner earlier. I think that's the perfect analogy for just the way that his hands just attract the basketball off a rebound.
Well, it got a lot tighter than the Phoenix would have liked in that fourth quarter, outscored by 12 points, but they do enough to hang on for a 6-point win. Once again, the final score, the New York Phoenix 111, the Reading Rebels 105. The Phoenix improved to 9-4. The Rebels dropped to 4-9. Next game for each of these teams, it will be the rematch Sunday at 3 o'clock right here at M&T Bank Center. Come on out to the arena if you can. If not, we'll have all the action for you right here on YouTube. For Vinnie Fredericks, for Artie Huntsinger, our entire crew, this is Sean Bagnardi saying good night from Schenectady.